talk about unique golf courses, WAHI Hills here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina definitely falls into this category. 3 9-hole golf courses designed in 1975 by famed architect Robert Trent Jones Sr. The fun actually starts before you ever tee off. The only way golfers can get here is in a glass-enclosed cable car across the Intercoastal Waterway. Welcome to WAHI Hills. You're in for a real treat, right here on Links Illustrated.
From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, welcome to Links Illustrated with your host, Hugh Royer.
Well, there's a lot of tight holes that you start on, especially like on the PGA Tour at Harbour Town on the first hole at the MCI, or now it's the Verizon. But I tell you what, you want to talk about one that'll pucker you up when you get to the first tee. This first tee here at the Ravines 9 at WAHI Hills, whew, look at this. There's no room for error here. Luckily, this hole's only, 396 yards long, so it's a hole that we can lay up off the tee and still have an opportunity to hit a short iron to the green, so there's no need to hit a driver. That's the beauty of it. The next part is, and the catch-22 to this, you've got to get it into that small fairway right there. Luckily, we've got a hill on the left that can play like a bumper to help the ball run back down into the fairway. Today, I'm going to hit a 3-iron off the tee. As you can tell, the wind's blowing. It's right to left, so that does help us not worry about the water so much. The key here is to get your target, focus on your target, and not worry about the outcome. If the process is correct in your swing and in your preparation for your target, everything should be fine. Not as far as it would be with a driver, but again, it's in the fairway, it's in play, and I've got an opportunity to attack from there. So remember, it's not always a driver off the first tee. I thought I hit a pretty good shot into there, but that's what I get for thinking when I'm not used to it, I guess. As you can see, the ball's rolled just through the green. I'm not more than 15, 18 feet from the pin, but it's rolled up against the rough in the back of the collar. And this is a shot that I've seen that it gives everyone fits. I don't care if you're a tour player or if you're just a weekend warrior. There's a couple of different ways to play this. I mean, too many people try to chip it and the club gets caught in the rough and the ball just goes right here in front of you. I've got 2 clubs here. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to play this. One is my lob wedge, the other is my hybrid. These, you've seen them used on the tour on different situations all the time. But what it does, these clubs allow you to be able to swing through the rough, but not actually have to hit down in the rough. So I'm going to take my lob wedge, and what I'm going to do, this is the so-called belly shot that you hear about, and I'm going to basically set the ball on my right toe. I'm going to set my weight left. I'm going to choke down and I'm going to grip it just like I do a putter, okay? Let's see how I've got a reversed overlap here. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to swing the club back and I'm going to hit down, but I'm only going to hit halfway on the ball. So basically I'm going to scull it, all right? But it's a controlled scull. And what it's going to do, it's going to hop a little bit and then it's going to get on the green and it's going to roll. So you can see how it comes out. It takes off and it'll come out of there and you can get it up there somewhere where you can try to make the putt. Secondly, I'm going to take my hybrid, same situation, right up against the collar, kind of an awkward situation. I'm going to take the hybrid, I'm going to play it back as well. You can see I'm gripping it down right on the shaft. reverse overlap just like my putter, but my hands are high and the heel of the club is off the ground. And when I hit this, I'm just going to go back and through, just like a putt. Ooh, almost. So you can see both of them work, but both of them take a lot of practice. The hybrid can actually be the easier of the two, so practice and figure out which one fits your game.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by teeuptomorrow.com. Log on today and tee up tomorrow.
I've driven it in the fairway on a par 5. Everybody hits it in the fairway and they walk down, they grab their 3-wood, and I'm just going to smash it down there and see how close to the green I can get, or see if I can get it on the green. I'm not advocating that you lay up every time on a par 5. There's certain times when you go, there's certain times when you don't go. I mean, this one here, you can see down the fairway, we've got a pond just left and up to the green. We've got a bunker to the right. We've got some room in the front. If this was the last round of a tour event or whatever, I'd probably give it a shot. We're into the wind. I've got 240 yards. I mean, it's kind of the in-between. I mean, if I hit it really good, I got a chance. If I don't hit it well, it's not going to get there. And then if I pull it or turn it over to the left, it's going to go in the water. For the average amateur golfer, the thing that I would say is take a club that you know you can put it in your wedge range that you're most comfortable with. That way it allows you the opportunity to score well. The key is not to keep adding strokes to your game, but to eliminate them, obviously. So the key here is I've looked at it and I've shot it up there, 240 yards. I want to try to get it within the 75 to 80 yard range. That's my preference for a third shot to a par 5 with a wedge. The 3-wood, I mean, yeah, I could give it a go, but honestly, I'm trying to score well, trying to get in a good rhythm. You know, say it's the first day of the tournament. I want to not make mistakes. I mean, the more you can eliminate mistakes, the better you're going to play. So I'm going to take a 5-iron. It's into the wind, like I said, so it's not going to travel as far as normal, and I'm going to try to get it within that range of 75 to 85 yards. So I'm just going to take a 5-iron. I've got my target. It's the pole down there in the fairway, and I'm just going to make a nice smooth swing and get this ball into place so then I can try and attack the pin. Nice solid shot, got it into the fairway. I've got it down there in my go range to where I can attack the pin with a sand wedge or a lob wedge to give myself a chance at a birdie. Now granted, 3-wood, if I'd have pulled it off, it might have been a little easier opportunity, but if I don't pull it off, guess what? I'll be doing this. And believe me, your arm gets tired when you're having to drop all the time. So remember, it's not that you have to always lay up, but it's a good choice to make sure there's no stress in your golf game. How many times have you missed a green? You've wound up in a hard pan type area, a very sparse, not a lot of grass. It drives people crazy. You see all kind of shots from this situation. Now it doesn't matter how good a shape a golf course is in, just like Waterway Hills here. It's in excellent shape. The golf course is perfect, but because of the big oak trees and the shade that you get, just like at the Verizon Heritage at Harbortown, you have these areas and you can't avoid it. Grass just doesn't grow without sunlight. So as you can see, my ball is sitting here on this nasty ground, and there's a lot of different ways to play this. I'm going to give you 2 different options. You don't have very much green. You've got some rough between you and the green, and we've probably got 20 feet, 18, 20 feet to the flag. A lot of times people come up here and they try to make sure they pick it and they bounce around, they scull it, or they'll chili dip it and hit it right in front of them. And all it does is just infuriate you. Well, the first way to play this is I've got my lob wedge. It's a 58-degree Nike wedge, and I'm basically going to set up. I'm going to open my feet, and I set my way. I mean, my sternum is literally out here in front of the ball, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, okay? And I'm going to play the ball back off of my right toe. I'm going to close the face down. So you notice a lot of times when people hit shots, you open them up. Well, for this particular shot, I'm going to close the face. My hands are well in front of the ball, as well as my body is. What this is going to do is going to allow me to get the club extremely steep here, to hit down, to pinch the ball so that it can hit in the rough, take a skip, and then hopefully stop. So here's how you do it. Remember, ball off your right toe, close the face down, set your weight left. Hinge the club early and get it very steep. Remember, steep to steep. And there it is on the green. It's better than chili dipping it, better than sculling it across the green. Obviously, the more you can practice this type shot, the better you can get at it. I mean, it's difficult to judge what it's going to do in the rough. It's being able to figure out the grain and whatnot, but I've got it on the green. I've got it, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet, and I've got a chance to make it for a par, all right? Now, the next shot, I'm going to put the ball right in here, same type situation. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to hit this just like a bunker shot. I'm not going to vary it one bit. I'm going to take the club, I'm going to get it steep, I'm going to come down steep, but my heel is going to slam into this hard pan so that the club can go down, bounce, and then throw the ball up in the air. So just like a bunker shot, I'm going to set with my feet open, my weight left, and my knees wide over my shoelaces. That way I can stabilize my lower body. The reason people struggle with this shot is because their knees and their legs move so much, it's hard to be consistent with your angle of attack into the ball. So again, you can see I've opened the face well up, unlike the shot before where I had it way back and closed. Opened it up. I'm going to play it right in the middle of my stance, weight left, 60-40, 60% on my left, and I'm going to take the club up and blast it. So you can see, 2 different techniques, both of them work very well. Practice these shots, don't be afraid to get out and experiment, and I promise you it'll help you save shots off your game.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by MyrtleBeachGolf.com, golfers' #1 resource for everything Myrtle Beach Golf.
Unfortunately, my tee shot here on the first hole in the Lakes 9 has ended up in the right rough. I thought it was going to be pretty good, but the slope runs this way, and as you can tell, I'm near the cart path, and I'm behind this tree. Normally at 61 yards is what I have to the flag. This would be a nice little lob wedge. Ground's firm, shouldn't be too bad, but I can't get the ball up, obviously, all right? Even though they're 90% air, as they say, it doesn't work that way, I promise you. So I've looked at it here and I figured that I want to carry my ball about 50 yards to where it hits in the rough and then it'll bounce up the hill and hopefully not run too far. The key to this is to understand I've got a 7-iron in my hand. I'm going to hit this and try to keep it under these limbs, which shouldn't be any kind of problem. You don't have to hit it hard. You don't have to do anything crazy because you want to be able to control the distance that you hit this shot. That's the important part, is where it lands so that it can hop up on the green like you want it to. So to hit this shot, I'm going to set up with the ball extremely close to me, almost like I'm hitting a putt where it's underneath. And that way I can keep the club in front of my body going back and in front of my body going through, and it's more of a sharp angle of attack into this ball so that it'll stay low, but yet I don't have to hit it very hard, okay? So the key is to not get way back here and start moving and trying to keep it down, then you hit it too hard, or you may hit it and pop it up into the tree. This right here becomes basically nothing but a lot of arms and upper body swinging the club in front of you so that you can make solid contact. Let's see if I can do this. Not too bad. And as you can tell, I did not swing very hard at that. It was a 7-iron. It was nice and low, bounced in the rough a couple of times and right up on the green. The key is not to get out of control and panic over this, because it's really not that difficult. Don't try to make the ball do something. Trust your technique. Like I said, stand a lot closer to it where the ball is literally almost under my eyes, maybe a slight bit out from it. I'm going to set my weight just slightly left, back, and through. And hopefully yours will turn out just like that one. As you saw with that putt there, I put the putter in the front of the ball and then I put it back behind the ball. There's a reason for this. If you will think back, Nick Price, George Archer, Dave Stockton, they did this regularly. There's a reason for it. A lot of times when you take practice strokes and you stand up to hit a putt, it's just boom, okay, and then you walk up and then bam, you hit it. The reason you see these guys do this, my father did it as well when he was on the tour, you set the club in front, it's easier to aim the putter because it's actually in front and you're looking down the line, you can see it better. When it's underneath you, it's harder to kind of judge where you are. That's why sometimes you'll see people get behind it and line the putter up and then walk in, but then again, that can move as you walk in there. So when you set the putter up in front of the ball like so, it's easier to aim, you get your line. The key to this whole drill is when you come back behind the ball, you never look back at the hole. Trust your line and stay smooth. By doing this drill, it accomplishes two things. Number one, the putter is easier to line up when it's in front of the ball. And number two, when you go back and do not look back at the hole once the putter's behind the ball, it's a lot easier to stay steady and not move your head when you hit the putt. Two huge keys in making putts from 4 to 5 feet. So try this drill in practice, and I promise you, it will help you make more putts. I'm fortunate enough to have hit the fairway here at the first hole in the Ravine 9 here at Waterway Hills. Unfortunately though, my ball's on a downslope. I only have 85 yards to the flag, but I'm on a downslope in the fairway, little downwind right to left. I've got the waterway over here on my right, so I sure don't want to hit it to the right of the green, which this will kind of tend to make you do it. For those of you that try to help it up, you go backwards, the club's going to shallow out too soon. You're either going to hit it fat or you're going to scull it. Ball can go right, you can top it, run off through here and down the hill, and then you're dead. So the key to hitting this shot is to make sure you lean with the slope. Even though it's downhill and the ball's going to go a little lower, I've only got a sand wedge. And I've taken my 54 because I want to be able to swing smoother and easier. I don't want to go at something hard because then the actual altitude of the shot is going to vary. With this, I know by swinging smooth and hitting this thing to where I swing down the hill, I'm going to be able to control my trajectory and the spin on this shot. So to do so, I'm going to set up, take my normal setup, and then I'm going to basically lean myself with the hill. So instead of having the proper spine tilt at address, I'm actually going to change it so my spine is in front of the ball slightly. This is going to allow me to get a little steeper coming down so I can swing down the hill, all right? 85 yards, on a little downslope, downwind right to left. A little bit to the right of the flag, but solid. I've got it 15 to 18 feet. I've got a chance to make birdie, but I've pretty much secured my opportunity for a par. So remember, swing down the hill, don't fight the hill, use what's been given to you, Even though it comes out a little bit lower, you can control the spin, you can control the trajectory to be able to control your distance.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by the Waccamaw Golf Trail. 12 spectacular golf courses designed by the world's most celebrated architects. Located just south of Myrtle Beach, the Waccamaw Golf Trail is a journey through historic plantations, natural beauty, and southern hospitality.
The next time you're in the Grand Strand area, come play Waterway Hills. It's a unique golf experience. The lessons that I gave you today, I promise you, will help you lower scores and improve your golf game. So remember, fairways, greens, and one putt, right here on Links Illustrated.